A Lansing man has been arrested for his alleged involvement in the January 6th Capitol riots. The FBI thinks that Logan Barnhart took part in the assault of the Metropolitan Police officer defending the Capitol that chaotic day.
Fox 17's Michael Martin has been going through court documents and archives. And Michael, you found that this isn't Barnhart's first riot arrest?
Yeah, Janice, as surprising as it might be, we took a deep dive into the background of Logan James Barnhart, charged this week with several felonies related to the January 6th Capitol riots. But back in May of 1998, or rather March of 1998, when Barnhart was reportedly a star player on his high school's football team, he was arrested on a charge of inciting a riot in Lansing. These images of the January 6th riots at the Capitol in Washington, D.C. are, for the most part, burned into the minds of Americans. In the following days, weeks, and months, investigators were left to pore over thousands of hours of video and countless pictures to piece together those there and breaking laws.
There are people that are still trying to identify. There are people that I think that are far more seriously involved, but they have not been able to get their hands on yet.
More than 6 months after it all went down, the Department of Justice announced Tuesday that they had arrested this man, Logan James Barnhart in Lansing, for not just taking part in the riots, but for violently assaulting a Metropolitan Police officer. You can see a man that appears to be Barnhart in this video footage of a group surrounding and attacking several officers. He climbs towards the front of the crowd and then appears to help another man drag someone down the set of stairs. In fact, as Fox 17 went through videos Wednesday afternoon, we found in this body camera video from an officer atop those steps a close-up view of the man, believed to be Barnhart, pulling a police officer into the chaotic crowd. This photo from above the scene again appears to clearly show Barnhart assaulting an officer.
If there was ever cases where we should be deviating from the guidelines upwards as opposed to down, it's these type of cases. We need to send a message that this is just unacceptable and it is going to be punishable to the extent that the law can punish them.
As part of the federal complaint filed against Barnhart this week, he's charged with using a dangerous weapon that is, quote, a baton, flagpole, and crutch to assault an officer. He faces a total of 6 charges, including violent entry and disorderly conduct in a Capitol building or grounds.
I also think that a good judge would look at this and say, wait a minute, you've done this before, this same type of conduct, and now you're involved in it on a larger scale. I cannot be as lenient with you as those who can claim that they got caught up in something that was happening.
Believe it or not, this isn't his first time in trouble for being involved with a riot. Back in May 1998, when he was a senior at Hazlitt High School, Barnhart was arrested on one count of inciting a riot near Michigan State University's campus.
Those would go into his sentencing guidelines range because they are prior conduct that would be scored.
In August 2010, he pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge of brandishing a firearm in public, but has no other apparent criminal cases on his record. Videos like this, that appear to show Barnhart clearly at the front of a violent crowd, will be a challenge for the defense to argue around. Though the first person to be sentenced in the Capitol riots, Paul Allard Hodgkins, only received 8 months behind bars for similar charges.
I thought the first gentleman who was from Florida, who got 8 months for what he did, I thought that that was judicial malpractice. I think that they needed to send a message that this type of behavior will be punished to the maximum allowable.
Yeah, and so while Barnhart was arrested in Lansing on Tuesday, his case will be transferred to Washington, D.C. eventually. And we'll bring you those updates once this case starts moving through the courts. For now, though, live in the studio, Michael Martin, Fox 17 News.